Welcome friends. Topic of my presentation today is about building an energy efficient complex around a sulfuric acid plant. In addition to producing sulfuric acid, oleum, SO2 or SO3 gas streams, acid plant also produces large quantities of energy that can be utilized in the complex. Energy can be recovered in different forms. Today we will discuss how we can create the best match between forms of energy generated by acid plant with the requirements of the complex. We will discuss following examples. Phosphatic fertilizer plants producing DAP, NPK, phosphoric acid or single superphosphate. Pyrometallurgical plants producing acid from off gases coming from copper smelter, zinc roaster, etc. Hydrometallurgical plants using sulfuric acid for leaching ore to extract metals like copper, nickel, cobalt. Detergent or dyestuff plants using oleum or SO3 to sulfonate organic compounds like linear alkyl benzene, lauryl alcohol, and alpha olefin. Heat recovery in acid plant needs to be matched to the energy utilization within the complex. This is where the engineering company plays a critical role. Acid plant connection to the other plants within the complex is by material and energy streams. Material streams consist of 93 to 98.5% acid, 23 to 65% oleum. These are liquid streams buffered by storage tanks. That means a disturbance on the producing side does not have an impact on the consuming point. At the same time, in some cases, there are SO2 and SO3 gas streams going from acid plant to elsewhere within the complex. These gas streams are live, do not have a storage or buffer in between. That means a disturbance on producing side will have a direct impact on the consuming point. There are energy streams. Commonly used are high pressure or medium pressure steams or electric power, or in some cases hot water and hot air. These are generally underutilized and can be used more often than they are used currently. Here is a snapshot of an acid plant in a fertilizer complex. 3 into 5050 tons per day sulfur burning plants, largest in the world, including an integrated power plant. SNC built these for Ma'aden, Saudi Arabia. Material and energy block diagram for this complex with a sulfuric acid plant with no HRS is shown here. It's a classical arrangement that is used in many such complexes. Sulfuric acid plant without HRS generates high pressure steam at 65 bar and 500 degrees C. The steam goes to a turbo generator to produce power. A little bit of low pressure steam is extracted and used within sulfuric acid plant and also in phosphoric acid concentration plant. Power that you can generate by this particular scheme is about 230 kilowatt hour per ton of acid produced. This power is enough to run sulfuric acid plant as well as phosphoric acid plant, and there is always some excess power to be exported to main grid or for utilization elsewhere within the complex. Possibility of generating hot water for washing filter cake to improve phosphoric acid recovery is always there. Energy recovery from the acid plant can be improved significantly by incorporating MECS HRS technology. You can generate about 1.67 tons of steam per ton of acid produced with HRS as compared to 1.27 tons per ton of acid in case of a conventional plant. Here is a material and energy block diagram for a sulfuric acid plant with HRS in a phosphatic fertilizer complex. High pressure steam at 65 bar 500 degrees C is generated in the acid plant and taken to the turbo generator for power generation. Some amount of medium pressure steam from HRS is also generated. This, along with a small amount of medium pressure steam extracted from the turbo generator, is combined and used internally within the plant for sulfur melting, deaeration, etc., as well as in the phosphoric acid plant for increasing the concentration of phosphoric acid. The power generation in this case increases from 230 kilowatt hour per metric ton of acid produced to 300 kilowatt per ton of acid due to introduction of HRS. This power is enough to run both these plants and at the same time export some amount of power to the main grid or utilize within other plants within the same complex. Possibility of using hot water for washing filter cake is always there. Here is a snapshot of an acid plant in pyrometallurgical complex RTB Bor, Serbia. Capacity of plant 1800 metric tons per day. A standard double contact plant, SO2 concentration less than 13%. This block diagram gives all the possibilities of heat recovery that are possible in a pyrometallurgical acid plant. In a typical plant, SO2 gas stream from flash furnace and converter combine and enter the sulfuric acid plant to produce sulfuric acid. In classical old-fashioned scheme, hot air is generated by SO3 coolers, which is vented and not utilized, but can be utilized elsewhere if there is a granulator or dryer within the same complex. In some cases, hot air generation is replaced by introducing a boiler in place of SO3 cooler to generate 20 bar steam. If you go with the pre-converter system, you can generate 40 bar steam and at the same time throughput through the plant will increase due to higher SO2 concentration. There are opportunities for improving energy utilization in pyrometallurgical gas plants. Consider utilizing hot air from SO3 coolers in dryers, granulators, or any such equipment within the complex. If the hot air cannot be utilized in the complex, consider replacing the SO3 cooler by a wasted boiler. You can generate steam at up to 20 bar gauge. Even better, consider changing to a pre-converter system with higher SO2 concentration at inlet of the acid plant. This will increase the production of the acid and the copper and at the same time allow you to recover heat at higher steam pressure. Here is a snapshot of an acid plant in a hydrometallurgical complex at Baja, Mexico. Capacity of plant 2400 tons per day. It's a sulfur burning plant with a HRS system in it. Here is a material and energy block diagram for a sulfuric acid plant with HRS in a hydrometallurgical copper complex. High pressure steam generated at 60 bar 500 degrees C along with intermediate pressure steam 10 bar from HRS is taken to the turbo generator to generate power. Small amount of low pressure steam at 3 to 7 bar is extracted for internal use within the sulfuric acid plant for melting sulfur and deaeration, etc. There is no other major low pressure steam requirement within the complex, and hence the power generation in the turbo generator increases to 350 kilowatt hour per ton of acid produced as compared to 300 kilowatt hour per ton of acid in case of fertilizer complex, where more low pressure steam is extracted for internal consumption within the complex. Here is a material and energy block diagram for a sulfuric acid plant in a small fertilizer complex producing single superphosphate. There is no HRS in this plant as it's too small for it to be viable. Steam is generated at 40 bar and 400 degrees C. This steam is taken to drive major equipment within the complex like turbo blower, boiler feed water pump, cooling water and acid circulation pumps. This results in reduction of power consumption in acid plant from 75 kilowatt hour per ton of acid to about 30 kilowatt hour per ton resulting in considerable amount of saving. Energy can also be recovered in form of hot air at 300 degrees C, which can be utilized in single superphosphate granulation plant, resulting in saving of fuel. The back pressure steam from the turbine is taken to the sulfur section for melting sulfur or to the deaerator, and rest of the steam is taken to the condenser and condensate is recycled back to the plant. Of course, some amount of electric power is required from the main grid, as the power generation from a small acid plant is not adequate to run the entire complex. Here is a material and energy block diagram for a sulfuric acid plant in a detergent complex. It's quite similar to what we saw in a small fertilizer complex. You produce steam at 40 bar 400 degrees C, run turbo blower, boiler feed water pump, cooling water pump, etc. Most of the times you will be producing oleums and SO3, which will be used for sulfonating organic compounds like lauryl alcohol, linear alkyl benzene, etc. to produce detergent. And detergent slurry is taken to the spray dryer, where it can be spray dried using the hot air that is generated in the acid plant. And as usual, the low pressure steam coming out from the turbo blower turbines can be taken to the condenser and recycled back to the acid plant. It's important to understand the engineering of energy interfaces in an integrated complex like this. Number one, you have to understand the energy needs of other plants within the complex. Engineering company needs to coordinate with technology provider to develop heat recovery system to match the consumption. We have to analyze different operating scenarios. Shutdown or trip of one plant should ensure that the other plant makes the transition to the new operating scenario in a safe and seamless manner. Process conditions should be determined based on the user's requirements. Pipe size, material of construction, etc. should match at the interface. Most important, control strategy at both sides of the interface should match. There should be no conflict of control strategies. A special HAZOP should be conducted for interface engineering. Thank you very much. Any questions? You have my contact details on the website. Feel free to contact me. We'll be glad to help you out. Thank you.